Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel and welcome to my new guide on how to get your hands on gold as a new player, especially in low levels when you didn't hit max level yet. So there are a few tips and tricks, and first off I would get into the basics, like how is your drop rate affected by items, what is the auction house, and what is an honor group. First off, the auction house is used in game to trade items to other players and allows you to sell the items you find in the game world to players that have more gold than you, basically. In the course of this video, we will get over different item types and different items that you can farm and you can sell in the auction house. But it's important that you understand how this auction house works. The next thing is the drop rate. This is affected mainly by two factors, the level and the drop rate of your character. So there are runes that increase the drop rate. This is one very expensive option to increase the loot rate or the drop rate. And another one is to use honor groups. Honor groups can be created by teaching certificate, and they require an alternative character below level 30 that you can invite to your group. Having an honor group will set your level down to the level of the mobs you're killing. So basically you can reduce the level of your character and massively increase the drop rate. The first tip is pretty easy to realize. So if you got your hands on some teaching certificates and got to know the auction house, you can just go to the game world and farm any daily items. So if you are in quest hubs, you regularly see daily quests that require you to fetch some items. And since Furious coins are pretty valuable, many people use many twinks and just do the dailies on them to get their hands on item shops and do the Malatina dailies or the Goblin Mines. And this leads to the fact that daily items are pretty valuable. So depending on the zone you're in, you can just farm them and sell them for 7k, 8k, 10k, depending on the items. I recommend farming the ends in Silverfall or the boars near Loga. So you can farm them with low level characters like level 30, 40, 50 and get tons of gold from them. It usually depends on how many people use daily farming. So if there is an increase in daily farming, the prices will drop, but that's only temporary mostly. So that's a good way to get gold, and it's not very gear or level dependent. To get an idea what the current prices are, I recommend the add-on Advanced Auction House. With this add-on you can see the price history, and you can also see color indicated if the price is very high or very low based on the current sellings. The next tip is a little bit more complex, and it definitely requires you to have an honor group. There are several instances in the game that drop some items that are also required by high level players who regularly have more money than low level players. So they sell pretty expensive, and they are used for elite certificates and also for music instruments. So what I show here is the path to the Forsaken Abbey, and if you run this abbey, you will find some mining nodes that you can mine for instrument material, and this sells very well at the auction house for like 30k each. And you can do the same thing in a different instance called Necropolis of Mirrors, which is located in Silverfall. Here I show you the path how to get to this instance, and this requires you to have around level 50, 60 is recommended to easily run it. And you can also farm the nodes found inside the instance and sell this material for 30k each as well to people on the auction house. Each of these instances will get you 5 of the materials and also other items from the mobs that can be sold anywhere in the auction house. One tip that is rather a gamble is farming cards. So every mob in the game can drop a card, even bosses, and these cards can be sold in the auction house for enormous prices, so they sell for millions. And the rarer the mob, or the fewer people farm the mob, the more expensive the card is. So if you just farm low level areas, the card drops will really give you a lot of money. Lastly, there are some items in the game that are naturally looted while leveling up. So, for example, crafting runes or white items or the runes that raise your attributes. And some of them are worth keeping. And I will just mention the most important 3 of them. So, first of all, the crafting runes, they sell for 6 to 10k each in the auction house, depending on the type of rune. Then the second one are white items with durability higher 100 and no stats on them, so they can sell very high, sometimes up to 1 million. And the third category is the attribute runes. I would recommend keeping everything higher than tier 3, and they sell very well at the auction house. Thank you for joining me on this guide. I hope it helps you getting your hands on some gold and to progress in the game. See you next time.